Hey, good morning, friends. How's it going? Tuesday morning. Walking to the barn. Walk with me for a second. There is much hype of doctors right now that are talking about they can almost predict what your health concerns are going to be based on your zip code more so than your genetic code. Back about 15 years ago, when the government actually finished its very first product under budget, ahead of schedule, but not necessarily above expectation, was when it funded the money to decode the human genome. And at that point, we thought that genes were linear, meaning that one gene had one function. But we found that wasn't true based on the spatial relationship and epigenetics and environment and all that stuff plays a huge role, because we found out that we're just barely more complicated than a fruit fly and less complicated than a flea. Yeah, a flea has close to the same amount of genes a human does. And how is that possible when they're so small? Well, the way God designed us is that our environment influences what genes turn on and turn off. That's called epigenetics. So if we're in a small town and we're consuming highly processed food, that can turn on the genes for disease. And what they're saying is that it doesn't matter what genes you have. You could have great genetics, bad genetics, but if you consume crappy food, you see, the thing about chronic disease right now that's sweeping our nation's health concerns is it doesn't know if you're rich or not. And frankly, it doesn't care. But if anybody is in the daily consumption of poverty food, and what is poverty food? Poverty food is food that is made with cheapness in mind. It is made with the mindset of quantity, shelf life. How long will it last? And that food over time is going to degrade the quality. What type of stuff am I talking about? Anything that comes off a shelf at a gas station, anything that's fast food, and basically anything that's in the middle of the grocery store. Highly processed foods, anything that has basically an ingredient list. We live here in Wilson County and we have several fast food restaurants, and the only place that we can find about 85% of the food available in our town would be considered poverty food by functional medicine standards. Now, if you use the food pyramid, most all of it, it probably fits on the food pyramid. The bad part about the whole eat a lot of grains things is we use grain to make highly processed food. And that's why your zip code is now determining more about what your health outcomes are going to be than your genetic code. It's about the food you eat, not your genetics, which is great news, frankly, because that means it's your choice. For a long time, doctors, would just put it up to, it's your genes. There's nothing you can do about it. Just continue on your hedonistic path. But yeah, it is a choice. You can make a choice. You can make a change. And I believe we all have the power to do so once we learn how our bodies function in a high performance manner. Anyway, my family and I would certainly appreciate prayers over this week. My wife is heading to the hospital tomorrow to be induced to have a baby. And I'm sure some of you know the story. Anyway, I'm not going to elaborate now, but just your prayers would be appreciated very much. And I thank you all for your kind messages over the last couple weeks. Much appreciated. Anyway, I hope you guys are doing well, and hope you're in a good zip code. See you later. Bye.